Okay, all set.
All right, thanks. All right, welcome to the Town of Amherst Historic Preservation Commission meeting for January 13th, 2026. Can I get a roll call, please?
Mancuso,
Present.
Ampliment,
Here.
Swartz,
Here.
Waterman Culpa,
Here.
Kenzie,
Here.
Wright,
Here.
Marinucci, Fidel here, Quinn,
Here.
Odiata, and Howard.
Here. All right, thank you. Our first item on our agenda is the minutes approval from our December 9th meeting, which is on the next page in your packet. If you'd like to take a minute to look at that. All right, can I have a motion to approve?
Motion to approve.
Can I have a second?
I'll second.
Second by Ms. Kenzie, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
One abstention.
One abstention, 0 absent.
Over there.
Yeah.
Motion carries 5 to 0 to 1. All right, we have nothing under new business, so I will move into old business. And our first item there is a landmark nomination. It says designation, I think it should probably say nomination for 1 Cloister Court. All that information is located directly after the minutes from the previous month in your packets. And I understand there's some new photos that were added. Yeah, so there's photos if you guys want to take a look at those. These are great. All right, I'll open for discussion.
So I think this was the one we were looking for, a better architectural narrative and an updated application form. Did that happen?
No, I did not get to the architectural with the holidays.
I mean, I continue to think that this is just a slam dunk. I just think it checks a lot of the boxes here for us.
Yeah,
And I think the fact that the owner submitted it and that this documentation in the magazine and whatnot speaks to its kind of importance already.
yeah, so can I, just for discussion purposes, I think the next step would be to set a public hearing for our board, and then in that time, we can submit any missing documentation or anything we come across. Just technically, the public hearing remains open for a month after we open it for people to submit articles of interest from the general public. So I think that is probably a logical next step. Does anyone tend to agree?
Yes. Do we have to have a final package ready though before, how long before a public hearing or by the public hearing?
So we basically have to nominate it to move it to public hearing. The public hearing then is noticed and
Right.
scheduled, and then we hold our public hearing. We close it when we feel that we've collected anything from anyone from the public that they would like to enter into the record. And we can take written as well as in-person testimony. And then we would decide at our next meeting or special
Whatever.
meeting if we think we have enough to send the nomination to the town board for decision.
So
And then at that time, they would decide whether to hold their own public hearing and or vote on it.
So is it sufficient to have like a draft nomination of these materials available, they'll be made available before the public hearing somewhere on the?
So we would take all the information collected to date, and if this commission thinks that it's ready to send forth to nomination, then we would do that. But the first step in that is for us to hold our own public hearing.
Okay, so we don't need that done before the public hearing.
right, we still have time to.
Well,
Well, but I figure you have to put something out there for the public to review
Sure.
to then speak on, that's where I'm
That's
getting
what I
hung
was
up.
thinking
So do you think this is an adequate nomination to move forward?
Well, as far as I know, it's on the raw, old form. And I thought, if we thought it needed a narrative before, I don't know why we wouldn't think it would need a narrative now. So I would think it seems like we're still so very close. So I guess, is it just wrapping that up and then, like, where are the sequence of events?
Okay. Is there, well,
Or tentatively
when it's,
do a
no,
public
well,
hearing?
when it's noticed, when it's out for public notice, and when are documents made available to the public to review?
Through that entire notification period.
Correct. Right, so once we file it with the clerk, it is now a public record available. But I would note that essentially you mentioned a draft nomination packet. That is essentially what we do in the agenda packet for each of these items. Everything that we compile is essentially what gets compiled when we file
Yeah,
it with the town
it just
clerk.
gets put in
minus
order, yeah.
the resolution and the letter saying, yes, the HBC has voted to hold a public hearing, here's their nomination, essentially.
And then does it become public when it's at the board level as well, the materials?
I suppose it's the
'Cause we
public
have
when we're
stuff,
talking about it
If
now.
stuff is being accumulated now, eventually a full package would be made
It gets
available.
made public as a formal nomination.
I'm just thinking
For-
due
for
Whereas
town
this
board
is
hearing?
just an.
No,
For-
for our,
your,
Yeah.
talking about town board.
No, for ours.
Correct,
Like,
yeah.
so, right, if anyone went on the town of Amherst website right now, this is all public information,
Right.
right?
I guess I was,
It's not,
I guess that's what that's what I was saying, was essentially, it's not a formal nomination yet, but
But it's
once,
already
until
out.
we
I'm just saying,
file
we're
it.
gonna
But
set a date, but do people have what they're gonna look like? And then I don't wanna,
Or
I don't
even
know
full
how it
reading
looks
too,
to
yeah.
switch around, which, again, it's just a proper form, version of the form.
Yeah.
That shouldn't be, oh, look at what they're doing, but,
well, I was gonna, so my question is before the official packet's available for the public to use, do we have like 2 weeks before it goes, before it's in
Before
a
it's
notice?
live.
Right.
Let's see, I believe the notice, I mean,
Is
really,
it
we're at the
15?
whims of making sure we
Yeah.
get the
Yeah,
filing.
yeah, I think it just needs to be,
The
posted like
advertising.
50, it needs to run 15 days
15 days.
before.
Yep.
So like, and if we put it in even like, say, sent it over to them in next week, it still wouldn't run at least for like a week or so.
Right.
If that helps with like a timeline of how long it would generally take.
So, yeah, so in that time frame where we've got
okay.
a little
I just wanna
time
make sure we,
squaring those
Are
things up
prepared,
and,
correct.
and circulating that, I think is okay.
Mhm.
Because I wouldn't wanna have to, like delay something
Sure.
that,
Oh, yeah.
you know.
Yeah. Is that on the petitioner then to supply the information? Like, are we waiting on them?
No, it's our, we own all the information
Okay.
now, and so we can, make,
it's our nomination.
yeah, we can make alterations, to
Okay.
bring it in line with the standard.
Yeah. Sounds good.
I think, what we don't have, and it's just still free discussion, is a format to, and, yeah, you had brought this up to me offline about having a format, maybe like a cover page or something like that, and then listing all the information. Your team does that, where you go through and you list all the articles and everything?
Yeah, matter
Yeah,
of
okay.
fact, Brian does a lot of that.
Okay,
This
okay,
section,
okay.
yeah.
So the way that Amherst code is written is, it says under chapter 121, the commission shall hold a public hearing prior to recommending designation of a landmark,
Okay.
historic site, or historic district.
That's
So
good.
we could call for a public hearing for this property.
It's what we
Yeah.
have now, and then
Yeah.
it's not, okay,
Then
that's
you
what I just
continue to
wondered.
gather information.
Right.
That's a.
And or modify, and or
Right.
supplement,
Yeah.
right, okay. Well, I'm sorry, not sure.
But you're acting on that information.
And so is the
You
public.
have available.
I think that's why Jen's bringing it up, is you want the public to have enough information
Right.
to.
Well, or not like put something out there and then we're gonna change it or something, like,
Yeah.
can we maybe at least do the form, like, so it's on the proper, cause let's not keep
Yeah.
putting it
Yeah,
out
this
there.
form, well, to
Out of the
Kate's
way.
point, we set a public hearing, and by the time we're at the public hearing, have all that information corrected.
I mean, it's kind of, to me, ambiguous, but the attorney's not here.
Okay.
Once the Historic Preservation Commission has issued a notice of proposed designation, that's when the building department puts a moratorium on permits for the property.
So that's after the whole
It
process.
seems like it, but it's out of order in the code.
Okay. Oh, like 1, 3,
So-
2.
Yeah, so the boundaries of each proposed landmark, interior landmark, scenic landmark, or historic district designated henceforth shall be specified in detail with reference to the tax map identification number and shall be filed in writing in the town clerk's office for public inspection. It doesn't really seem to outline, here are the steps.
Right.
So,
You're telling
in
me.
my experience, it's, we put this forward for nomination,
For
and
public hearing.
For public hearing.
Yeah, not nomination.
No, in
That's the
all of
subject.
my experience,
Okay.
except for on this board, it's here's the nomination package, we are ready to hold a public hearing. And then we add to the public record for this, decide at the, at a future date, if we have enough information now, or if anything, not enough information, if anything has been called to question that we thought to be true, or if we found additional significance through the public hearing process, then it may need to be, the nomination may need to be amended prior to going, if the commission still feels that they should move forward to handing in the nomination to the acting board. So in my experience, it's always been the nomination, here you go, here's the nomination, we're calling a public hearing.
Okay.
So,
We don't have that yet.
so I agree with Jen, right,
But we're so
very close.
It's just those edits,
Right.
and then,
Right, because what isn't identified, which is so crucial to this board's decision-making process in the future, is identifying, so it's, the original drawings called for a tile roof. Is the tile roof still there? Have there been any building permits? Have there been, what are the current materials now, so that a future application for certificate of appropriateness for modifications can be judged against?
Okay.
Right.
So whether it's a narrative or a list of here are the current conditions of the building with materials, that should be in
You've got to set the
writing.
precedent.
Right, so that we know, so this board knows how to judge a certificate in the future. And I just don't think the description in here, on page, what is it, 28 is enough.
yeah, we need a little bit more.
It would be helpful to know if there have been any additions
one?
that are non-contributing. No, this one. Any additions that are non-contributing?
Page 28 on the bottom.
Yeah, 28 on the bottom,
Oh, I'm sorry.
packet page 28. There's a short
Yeah, sorry,
description.
That's from the UB collection.
Yes.
Yep. Okay.
And we should probably identify a period of significance, right? Was that
Oh,
on the
okay.
nomination?
It's not on this.
Right,
no,
it's not on this one, it's on the other one.
Right, and then the numbers are gonna be, the criteria, right, numbers are
And the period
different,
of
and let's not create confusion of
The period of significance, I think, would be the time that it was built.
what is built, right?
So 1912 to 1914.
That's what we're doing, right?
Yes, that's what's in the narrative on page 11. Packet, page 11.
Okay. Do you wanna set a Teams call? Or are you still interested in doing that?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
For sure.
Just so we can get something on the calendar, cause stuff slips by. I was out of work for like a whole weekend right before Christmas.
Yeah.
Like,
I'll send an invite.
okay.
So from these pictures, the current pictures, I can't tell like what the roofing material, I see that it's stucco.
It looks, well.
I mean, yeah, it
Yeah.
could be
It's
red
red.
asphalt, it could be red asphalt, I don't know.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
or we can ask the owner.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Because
anything
it's
that
covered
they-
in snow.
And if they know of any additions that were put on and approximate dates, you know, if they have any building, I mean, this is a great wealth of information, but if they have any, building
Specifics
permits,
or-
like, you know, anything else to share, or,
Could I do the FOIL request for that though too?
sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, do you need like an authorization or something from anybody to do that? Is it take, how much time does it take?
A day or two.
Oh, they respond within a day? Okay.
You're shocked
Should-
by that.
I am too.
But then it is.
No, I should, like, well, you shouldn't need a foil.
You
Right.
shouldn't need a FOIL, but apparently
I
that's the
agree.
process that's happening.
They're calling
Yeah,
it.
but when I say I'm on this commission, they get back to me really fast.
Okay,
Wonderful.
great.
Yeah, and if I have like any additional questions, they get back to me the same day.
Okay.
Sometimes.
Who are you for?
What?
That-
Building department?
No, yeah,
Yeah.
right, yeah.
So, we'll run that down too. So they do want you to do the FOIL because it helps us keep track.
Yeah.
And they're really trying to make sure they're doing kind of strict accounting on this stuff
On public
now,
record.
more so than they used to. But once you put it in, you know,
Okay.
you can burn,
Yeah.
you can burn
Basically,
that.
I can help both.
James is like, hello.
Yeah.
Okay.
I walk on down there and say,
Thank you.
But like, I can see that the garage was an add-on, and
Yeah.
that's vinyl sided and all that good
Mhm.
stuff, so that should all
That'd
be
be,
noted.
you're right.
So it's a non-contributing structure on the site.
Yes.
But even like some of the railings and stuff, like some of them look like they're new, some of them look like they're older,
Yeah,
things like
these
that.
ones here.
Are the windows
Original.
replacements? I can't tell.
Yeah, in my photos you can tell, they seem original in my photos, but.
Well, ask the owner
Yeah.
what the material is.
Yeah, the iron,
And
cast
what-
iron collection boxes from
What
the
material,
downspouts.
yeah,
or
what
copper.
material are they? Are they copper? Are they
Yeah, I
just
don't know.
painted?
Yeah.
You know, things like that.
Mhm.
The doors, they definitely have the replacement door on the front. So any of the original doors versus
Called out,
replacement
yeah.
doors.
This porch looks like the windows were replaced.
Yeah, the windows on both sides aren't the same. So it looks like there's some 1/1s versus some 4, 6, 8/1s.
6.
And 8.
These are 6. And the
And
bottom,
8.
first floors are 8, second floor's 6.
Oh, yeah. So stuff like that.
Well, no, because to your point, right, and we've, I think, run into this on the flip side at the end, where it's like, okay, well, we're trying to make a determination on something, but it was so vague, we didn't know what was there, or if it was, or, and then to make a confirmed call of yes or no kind of thing, so.
Okay.
Great job.
It's over.
Yeah.
Oh, they did? They did all this? That's amazing.
I just wanted
You
to take
supplemented,
photos.
yeah. All right, so we're gonna make no action tonight then, consensus?
I'll make a motion to table.
Motion to adjourn, second,
Karen, you made Crusoe, I second.
all in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Item number 1, landmark designation for 1 Cloister Court, adjourn.
But the idea is we'll have it for next time, and then we'll be in a position to
Correct.
set the public hearing, yeah?
Okay. All right, item number 2, landmark designation nomination for 305 Brompton Road. I'd like to open that for discussion. This one is at the very end. Almost.
this is also a nomination.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Period of significance 1924.
Yep. Yeah. I think this one, for me, this is right.
Yes.
Oh, right, because we
Kathy's.
have Kathy's.
Yep.
That's a really thorough,
That looks
more than
like-
just an architectural narrative, she's got the full.
It looks like there's a letter at the back of this now.
Yes.
Yeah, we received a letter from the owner.
Not sure how he was notified, because we didn't send
It
notification.
was like a day after.
Yeah, he's part of the Rubino's family. One of his relatives is in our office all the time. But anyways, he
They're
was
both
notified
builders
somehow.
and realtors.
He came in and asked questions. I gave him information on the nomination itself, and information on the procedure for nominations. He said he'd like to put on record that, he's not for it. I told him he would have his chance in public hearing. So I accepted the letter and made it, part of our record, but to kind of just satisfy the procedure and just, allow him his voice in the time being. So yeah, just to give you guys the notification. And I'm sure we'll see him at a public hearing if he chooses out.
Yeah, I think some of the points are warranted. I mean, the criteria on it being associated with personal significant events and stuff, maybe, you can go either way on that one, but I think as far as the architecture, the special character, embodying colonial revival, I think that's all, well documented here, and enough to move this forward, regardless of the person's significance factor here.
I agree, because if our role is not to take into consideration should, shouldn't, we're just looking at the criteria and judging it, presenting it as a nomination based on that alone, and then as a collective, and then through the public hearing, there will be other voices and opinions presented, but I don't think that's our role to preemptively not pursue something when we generally seem to feel pretty strongly like, yes, this has certain criteria, merits.
And this home was listed as a historic property in the listing online. The letter from 1998 was also included in the listing, congratulating the homeowner, that it was a historic property, so they should have known that.
And it was in one of the surveys, correct?
Yes, yeah, it was called out in the survey as well.
And that means it's blue rated, correct?
Yes.
Right?
Yeah, I mean, I'm just finding some things that are errors in this letter already, so.
Right,
so,
yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
there's just
He says
several
it's not
errors.
100 years old.
And
but
it
it's
needs to be
only
50.
Yeah.
It doesn't lack historic or architectural integrity, so, I mean, that's my architectural professional opinion. As far as by comparison, the other properties are all in the village of Williamsville.
Yes.
And I believe one of them did come to our Historic Preservation Commission because it is a local landmark, when it did seek, some alterations. None of those properties are in Amherst, proper, they're all in the village. And procedural and due process concerns, I don't think any of those are relevant to what has happened thus far in this process. Yeah, I don't find value in a lot of these statements.
And there are extra photos included in this packet this month too, compared to last month. They're not the best photos, I'm sorry.
I think a lot of this is great. The only question I would have, and we can get to this after nominations, if what alterations have been made over time that got away from its initial character, but it seems to me that its integrity is still there.
Absolutely.
It is hard to see nowadays, right? Isn't it becoming like
Well,
brush and stuff.
it's not,
Oh.
you can go right up to it.
Especially
I wasn't
now.
gonna walk on someone's property.
But that's okay, because you didn't check off the visual
Yeah,
feature, right, so.
no.
Well, it's Girl Scout season, so if
Yeah.
anybody wants to go sell, we can go try.
Okay, is there any way to tell what the cladding material is, or?
It's clapboard.
Yeah, you can see
Okay.
it's clear.
Yeah, I didn't see any vinyl when I was there.
In windows? Can't tell, or we don't?
They looked original. There's storms over them, but yeah, they do look original.
I know it's snowy, but asphalt roof?
Yes, yes.
Yeah, it looks like 6/6s for the most part. In the front facade anyway, they seem to be all intact. They seem to be original shutters. It looks to be original entranceway as well, with a screen door. Probably original screen door, it looks like. That's nice. Porch materials all look to be original.
So is there, would there be an opportunity, and it could be no, to respond to the letter?
No.
Okay.
Wouldn't we do that in our public hearing?
No,
Not even
public
then?
hearing is to collect evidence,
Okay.
and so this is just part of the public record now, and then that's for this commission to internally speak about, but there's no back and forth with the owner. What I do think is a little odd with the architectural style is at the rear of the property, the copper, bump out
For
window.
the bay window.
Yeah, that bay window, I would question.
Yeah.
It doesn't seem to fit. And
That's
then
no.
I think some of these add-on additions might as well,
I can do a FOIL request for this one too.
yeah.
Yeah, so we're missing that
We
information
have
of
drawings? No, we
permitting.
didn't have drawings.
Yeah, and it is odd in that corner that something's up with the siding there.
There was
Yeah, I saw that.
water damage on the rear there, but some of the clapboard was like fine.
Okay.
So these photos from Kathy are from too recent?
Yeah.
No, okay. Well, because the bay window bump out is there.
That's still, I'm
Yeah,
sorry.
it looks like,
There's
it looks like it could be a 40s, 50s type. That was like a colonial
I mean, it
look.
could be,
It
but
could
it
be,
just
I guess that's where I was
seems
curious
like-
if we had the original, you know, even in elevation, boom, you'd know right away.
It just seems a little odd.
But
But even so, are these additions or changes enough to
I
take
don't,
away its
You would-
historic
you
integrity?
would know.
Yeah,
no,
okay.
but
No.
it would just go down to the specifics of, they would be non-contributing
Yeah, yeah.
in that listing, right, so for future.
Yeah, totally.
And for clarification, is the garage considered contributing?
Do we know,
It's, I
was
thought it was
it
listed.
original?
The contributing frame garage was built at the same time as the house.
Okay,
Okay.
thanks
Same
for
with Cabot
clarifying
House.
that. Yeah, it almost
So
like
she
you ripped that
even-
flower blocks off above that copper.
So it does say in here, also of interest on this elevation is the bay window flared roof, but it does not clarify it was original or not.
The more you look at it, it.
Just
I
it's
don't know.
of interest.
It's tough.
Yeah. Of interest meaning suspect. Yeah. I mean, I guess I would say that that one story could be original next to it, but the bay window does not fit. I'd have to look at the windows up close to really, and it could have just been an open air too, and then
And then enclosed,
Yeah.
that,
Because I'd like to know if that door looks original or not, to know if the walkout is. It looks like it has shutters on it. So you know where the
Yeah.
water damage was, Haley? This one right here.
Yeah.
So whether. nomination could say, be unable to verify, you know, that exact condition too, just give the boards, future boards information, right? So like rear second floor entrance to, railed off one story, you know, has been unable to be verified as original.
So it still needs some written clarification or some
No,
written.
I think you nominate it and then, you see if anybody has information, see if you can add to, you know, the missing piece of that.
How about the building permits?
Yeah, that would be good, but I think that could be evidence that's collected during the public hearing process. Yeah, the commission can always find additional resources and present it as part of the record. I mean, I've done that before.
That was going for the last one.
Yeah, but the last one was missing an architectural description. This one has an architectural description, a very thorough one, and now we just need to see if there's any holes in it or anything like that. I mean, all of the materials are, everything's still valid, it looks like, from this building structures inventory form.
You have to be able to access the property to validate some of this stuff.
That's what I was thinking.
It's private property, you know? Well,
So just that's the
Wow.
question, like, how do you?
Well, yeah, leave it as it was.
Well, I believe that we're allowed to access the property for the purposes of this, but I would want to check with the attorney
I was
first.
gonna say, I think that's probably, so if you had to not just this one, but anyone, if you actually had to validate that, and the owner said, yeah, no access, how do you rectify it?
Well, that's where I think maybe you have, you know, this condition is unknown. And then at such time as somebody wants to do a modification and they present a certificate of appropriateness, they'd have to be forthcoming with the information. I mean, that would be my guess. 'Cause
how else would
not-
you do it?
Because sometimes, you know, rears of property are not in the public realm, and, you know. But I think that there's a lot of information here. I mean, we do have multiple pictures of the rear of the property, the side of the property, and all of that. It's just, you know, not zoomed in at, you know, 600 DPI.
Bird watching.
Sure. This is pretty
This
far
is
from the
being
airport.
recorded.
It's pretty far from the airport, maybe drone action, I don't know,
Jokingly.
jokingly.
I see it on the bike path all the time. Well, it is
Right.
on the right form, so
Is that it for discussion?
what are the tasks to, is it ready? Or I feel like we're like
I
one
agree with
thing.
Kate, I think if you put
It is, okay, and we can, so would we set a public hearing then?
Yes, so I would like to make a motion to move 305 Brompton Road's landmark nomination to public hearing.
Do you know when you would like to send the second public hearing?
It needs to be,
Needs to be 30
notice of
days
the
from the
public
notice.
hearing for a proposed designation shall be set by the town clerk 30 days prior to a public hearing to the owner. So we can set the public hearing, which, are we 30 days out from our next meeting?
No.
No.
No, right?
It's a
10, because this one
It's a
got
10.
moved, yeah.
So the
No,
public
this one
hearing
was held on the
will
day
be
we
on
asked.
March.
Oh,
Well,
okay.
no, would it be, it's in exactly 4 weeks from today.
No. we
No,
don't- they
I'm
don't
on the
need-
wrong month, sorry.
So the public hearing will be set for March 10th at 7 PM, and then our meeting will follow.
At 6:30?
But that's 2 months out,
6:30
isn't it?
PM?
I think that,
Yeah,
I think
we
the
don't-
Yeah,
public, the
'cause the
public
next
hearing
meeting
can
is-
be at 7,
is
not
and
within
then
10.
this meeting starts right after that, we close that public hearing for the evening or adjourn the public hearing.
Yes. You don't need to have it.
No.
Because we have done the 6:30 thing.
Yeah, but that's when we had multiple or big or, you know, I wouldn't. You know,
Okay. or should we move to second?
So that was for, when did we say, March 10th?
March 10th,
So that's the motion.
yep,
Yep. Is that complete?
yes.
All right. Is
Move
there a
the
second?
nomination to public hearing and set the public hearing date for March 10th.
Okay, is there a second?
Wainwright second?
All right, can we get a roll call? Or we got, want to do all in favor?
Any against? No. All in
Do
favor?
public hearing. All right. All in favor?
Aye.
All right, motion carries 6-0. We jot a couple things down and then we'll move on to our next item.
So then the next one, that public hearing couldn't be any earlier than probably like the August, or April
Well, it's
date.
It's the 10th, so we meet on February 10th, and so that's also the 10th. So if we, all right, I think we
Well,
could
that's
make
still
it,
4 weeks.
oh, it's 28 days, because it's February.
So then who, administrative, who's notifying the clerk's office?
Us, together, yeah. I mean,
Wonderful.
We put together.
So
a
planning
packet.
department will notify the clerk's office, and then, I believe you need to notify the building department.
We do, we make it a transmittal for each of those departments that are identified in the code for comment.
Okay. Proposed designation to be, so, are you sending the notice of proposed designation to all of the departments, or you're waiting until we send it to the town board?
No, as soon as we do a notice of proposed designation, we do it with a transmittal to each of the departments where they also get a copy of the packet.
Okay, so now all building permits are halted.
Is that how it's written?
That's not the order, right? Not the first thing you read.
Yeah, I don't know, I think there's an interpretation that needs to be done.
By legal? Can we pose that, who asks that question?
Planning, our
We'll ask you.
liaisons.
Planning will ask legal, please.
Once the Historic Preservation Commission has issued a notice of proposed designation,
Which we,
so,
it's, now we have open public hearing.
I'm not sure. This
Yeah.
order's out of order. We sent the nomination to public hearing, so now legal can decide what happens, I guess. And then this should be buttoned up.
I also have a question. When does the actual 30 days begin? When we make our vote, or is it when the notice is published?
So it's not exactly like a time clock thing, it's just our notice needs to be 30 days before
Yeah.
the public hearing.
Well, it's
So
important though,
whenever-
because if we want to have these hearings on our meeting dates, when you guys publish these things, or, how long is it?
It
usually
automatically
take?
is
7
2
is
months out.
28, right,
That's
so
why
it's
we're,
just too
so
short.
we might have to do 2 months out for that, because you asked the next
Right,
one, and that's why I
yeah.
think it's
So
gonna have to
that's-
be April.
This was brought up in, I think, our September or October meeting with Councilmember Marinucci, where we said, hey, like, we need to resolve this 60-day, 45-day, 30-day, 15-day, all these places in our, in the code. We need to either shorten some of these days, or shorten some of these timeframes to fit them in our meetings, or we need to lengthen them for notices, because the planning department has an issue with trying to get these notices out, and then having it not meet the timeline, just because there's not enough time for the public
Yeah.
to have this information. So we had talked about altering our charter, what is this? No. The
Guide-
bylaws? No.
Rules of order of the
Guideline?
code.
No.
Rules of order.
Yeah, well, that's-
Well,
that's-
our chapter in the code.
Yeah.
Zoning
you guys
121.
Yeah, 121,
Yeah, you
86,
got it.
right, that whole thing. We had talked about altering it, and the town board has to approve that, and they were just not in a position to do it. But it's out there, and I think we need to.
It's still on the table?
It's still on the table, and we need to go through it and
Okay.
change to help out the planning department, so they have enough time, and we have enough time, so it's not lacking.
How was that information conveyed to the town attorney? Assuming that the attorney's office is working on amendments to the code.
They're not. it got stopped, due to political climate. We just wanted to wait, I guess, until the dust settled, put it that way. And so now I think we could reopen that. She, emailed me earlier today and said she was unable to attend this meeting, but I can just start that conversation again. Cause we all, I think, agree that we need to amend some of those things in the code, including now this out of order section.
Yep.
All right, so we're sort of off agenda.
Yeah, I didn't mean to cause that.
No,
So
no,
I
that's
just tried to
okay.
answer Jen's question
Sure.
about the date.
Yeah.
Right, cause it's like, yeah, what is it?
But we can make an agenda item, or if we wanna put that back on, I think we should probably do that.
Okay, yep.
Does that make sense?
Yep.
Yeah. All right, do you wanna go through the rest of the items first, and then we'll go back to that?
Yep.
Yeah, is that okay? Okay. So that concludes item number 2. Item number 3 is our HBC calendar, which is located on the back page of your packet. The only date that got altered was our April meeting date, in order to go back and use the large room.
And this September 6th, that would be the first.
Yeah, I think we did talk about that because there was something else going on, because it aligns with September and November. I think we talked about moving that just so it wasn't closer to November or farther, you know what I mean, farther from, September.
So, and April got moved too.
Just so I'm just,
So
yeah,
just April, yeah, I think we all agreed on this October date to middle it between September and November. Give us 4 weeks between those dates.
Mhm.
April's the only one where
It should.
we're kicked out.
And technically, we were meeting on the 13th, not the 6th.
Yeah. Well,
But
came
yeah.
to pass, and we figured it out.
We're here.
Right.
Are we here?
It's not to say that you, I mean, I think this, the second Tuesday of the month or whatever is probably gonna be a no-go. But if you have another date and another week that you prefer to have, I think they would probably entertain that, unless, or the schedule could be fine. I mean, most of the dates are pretty much consistent with what you typically have. But if you wanted to change it to a different date and week, where
Yeah.
there's not likely to be a conflict.
Well, is it possible to use this room again? Because
The only reason you're in this room tonight
yeah,
is because there's no public hearings.
right.
If you had public hearings, I suspect we'd have to be out there. I would say we'd wanna be out there.
We used to do them in this room
Okay, well, that,
8 years ago or whatever.
okay, were you recording them and doing all that
No.
stuff? Okay, so the standards are a little different now, right?
Yes.
So that room is set up for that purpose, right? This one's not.
Well,
Well, it
We
looks
like
like
to
we're
s-
set for March 10th,
Well-
so in terms of the public hearing that's set, we should be okay for that.
we also don't have to set a public hearing during our meeting. We can have a separate one to use that room. I know, it's convenient. Yeah.
Well, let's deal with that one when the time comes. Because the one on the table is, okay,
March. Yeah.
yeah.
Can I go back, yeah, can I actually go back to point, or item number 1? If we circulate the amended information for Cloister Court to this board through email, if we set a public, if we go into February and we know all the information we know, it's 30 days. Is it 30 days, March 10th?
No, it's always
Gives the
28
planning
days,
department
because
enough time.
it's exactly
No,
4
it's 28,
weeks, which
okay.
is
Yeah.
7 times 4, 28 days. That's why I say it's always too short. It seems like, well, let's change that, but then I wouldn't want it to
Okay.
condense everybody's time to get stuff done, so.
Right, so we would probably have to have, if everything went correctly, April public hearing for Cloister Court.
That
The way it's
sounds fine.
aiming
That
Yeah.
sounds fine.
in here,
No,
No,
no.
out there.
we're back out there.
You're out there.
We're just on the
Then
third
we can't,
week.
we just can't do it on the second Tuesday.
No, it would just be the third Tuesday when we're meeting.
Wait. Is
What happened with
your
March?
meeting scheduled for April 13th, right?
No,
21st.
21st.
Oh, okay, they moved it, okay.
Yeah, the 14th, right, that's what we would prefer.
Yeah, but if it's the third, and then why couldn't we have, if we were to want to schedule a public hearing, why couldn't we have it on the 20th?
Or taking a line, like, we meet every second Tuesday, that's our thing. We're taking a,
Oh,
right?
Stand.
Yeah.
I thought except for that.
Because
one.
why? Like, actually, I mean, well, the gavel's in the other room. I mean, Tuesdays I think works for everybody, so I would, we talk about Thursday and all this other stuff. and
Yeah,
we
I'd
can't,
rather-
no,
At least say
we are on
Tuesdays.
Tuesdays, yeah, right, that's it. I think we're making a concession if we move it to the 21st, and we're not getting anything out of it. I mean, it's not, it's not the end of the world, but.
Well, does that give us an extra week where we would be beyond 30 days? If we voted on February 10th, March 10th, and then that would be 5 weeks to the 21st, does that give us a
Yeah, but
little of that leeway?
I think the goal is to set a public hearing date in that February meeting.
Right,
So we
for
would,
that April.
For April, yeah, so that's 7, no, that's 9 weeks.
So I think it almost works to,
It's just a long time to wait, it's just a long time to wait.
it's always 2 months.
No,
No, we just set one.
from April to, well, right.
It's
but
January to
there's
March,
3
it's
weeks
2 months.
between these meetings,
Oh,
from April to May.
yeah, so to Jeff's point earlier,
agree.
amending that in
Oh.
the code,
But if
to
we're
maybe
saying we're
accelerate
here,
that a
why
little
does it
faster.
matter?
So we don't have to wait 30, does it have to be 30 days? I mean, I guess we could talk about
I
it
think
in some other
that's
session.
that's probably the minimum,
Yeah, that's fine.
right? You
So
have to
it's-
have at least
Yeah.
30 days notice, if it goes longer.
I mean, some other
sure.
public processes are 14 days, 15 days,
There is a 15.
I don't know where
That's
the
for
30
legal
days,
weigh-in.
I don't know where
Yeah.
the 30 days came
Yeah.
from,
Yeah.
whether that's
It might just be
state
arbitrary.
guidance or what, I just don't know. So.
Okay,
Okay.
okay,
I'm just gonna, just not while you're on this, on top, I think if you have questions, issues with the code, I would recommend that you put them together in a letter and send them to contact.
yeah, we
We did start that.
Maybe you already
Yeah,
did
we
that,
have
I don't know.
written notes.
Are they done?
Thank you. Thanks. Yeah, we started that process.
Okay.
We have some things, some notes written down, but it's not, nothing's formalized. So I think like I said, I'll go back to that after we're done with our.
Either way, it's not gonna help us.
Agenda. It's not gonna help us right now, yeah. So, I don't know, is this the accepted calendar? I think we accepted it last time.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. So then it is what it is. Okay. And there's no motions or actions that we need to take. Item 4, we always have this kind of catch-all training and website.
Thanks for getting me all your trainings.
I was gonna say.
Yeah.
Success.
Time to start over
Yeah.
again.
Yeah.
I already did one.
Oh, nice.
Well, it was from like September. Finally watched it.
Okay.
No, June. It was bad.
So I went out and got our table cover, which is right here. FYI, we're gonna need to make an amendment on the cost.
What kind of material did you get?
Thank.
So,
Sack.
What did you do, Brian?
I think we allotted like 200. Yeah, it was 275.
Look at that baby. Yeah.
nice.
Right, it's an 8-foot and 3-sided, so it's meant to go on folding tables. We can also, drape it or whatever. we can
I was
do.
gonna say it'll go
Yep.
over that way.
Yeah, so now we have an official piece of,
It's nice.
yeah, local printer. Nice job, Hernoa Printing. yeah. Easy to work with. We got it done in less than 2 weeks. So, this is gonna live, I think, in James's cubicle. No, I don't know where.
So,
Can use it for nap time.
Yeah.
so the Veterans Committee stuff goes in the office at the end of this hall. So it's always available to, you can put it in the planning department, but the planning department's not here, you said we should be able to get to, Angela can get to it if she needs to, Marty can get to it. And we leave the veteran stuff here in that office, in this corridor here. But
Okay.
you can do whatever you want, but it just makes it, more universally accessible, I guess.
Okay.
It was 275, you said?
Yeah. So, I'd like to make a motion to alter the original amount. Now, I don't know if it's gonna be able to come out of 25, do we know?
It was put through, you'll probably get it, the check's already probably being processed if it hasn't been mailed already.
We already processed it, I think.
Yeah.
So page
So the board's
25.
gotta approve it. Yeah, okay, cool. So, but it's 25.
Yeah, I think the communication was, at least what I had heard, was that there was enough in the budget, it was around
There
that
wasn't,
amount
right,
that,
so we had not a surplus, but we had additional money left in the
Yeah.
budget. So, I don't know, I'd like to make a motion to alter the original amount from 200 to 275 out of our 2025 budget, in order to cover the cost of the tablecloth material.
Second by Kate.
Second, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Alright, motion carried. Should I abstain? I paid for it myself, so I don't know.
Where's the receipt?
It's with the town, they have it. No, motion
I
carries.
signed off on that already.
yeah, it's all.
Okay, thank you.
You don't have a check
These
yet?
are things that-
Full transparency, yeah, there you go. Thank you.
I just got confirmation of it like maybe in the last week, so.
Thank you, appreciate that. So I don't believe there's anything else on training and website, unless
Did I-
any other has, go
Well, I
ahead.
just brought to, I think, your attention.
Yep.
So from NAPC, and even though I've washed my hands of it, because I'm trying to make sure, like, at least 3 or 4 times that everybody got emails directly, and you guys are good at sending them out. But in the one that came out, I think on December 30th, they were talking about their forums, and I saw this about messaging guide for local preservation programs, which
Mhm.
offers practical tools to help communicate the value of preservation effectively. So I thought, and then one of their highlights, they were like, they say, in 2022, NAPC hired Cindy Olnick of Cindy Olnick Communications to research what the biggest issues were facing local preservation programs. Her findings identified 3 major areas where local preservation program staff needed support. 1, conveying the value of historic preservation. 2, advocating for more effective preservation policies and practices. And 3, explaining the local preservation process. And I just thought that all seemed to hit home of what we seem to face
The
in terms
objections.
of our role and what we are about within the town. So I did, so everybody has access to click on that.
When
I
was
did-
that one?
December 30th. And I'm sure it'll be, like, it was part of their forum or part of their
Yeah,
links
you can go
of
on
their, whatever's coming up. And so I did print it out, and it kind of has guidelines, and it really is a full, I didn't dig deep, like, extensively, but they're kind of providing you with tools and narrative that maybe we could try to, because we've always talked about this, of how do we get the word out, how do we clear up some of the myths or inaccuracies and perceptions, and maybe there's a bit here that we could eventually utilize, rather than trying to guess, come up ourselves, and it's kind of insurmountable, because let's be honest, we don't know exactly how to do that. We've had how many preservation days recently, and we still seem to be spinning our wheels on how we could best get a message across, so just putting it out there for everybody.
Was it a webinar?
No, it's just a downloadable link
Oh, okay.
Oh,
and a
really?
PDF report. I didn't print the whole thing, but
Sure.
So Happy Holidays from NAPC is the title.
Oh, for the subject line,
Yeah.
yes.
Yeah.
But it is like if you just went to the NAPC website, I'm sure if there's resources or some tab, they're promoting this because they've obviously invested in the efforts and they wanna kind of share that with others to use. So I thought, hey, let's keep that in our back pocket.
And then NAPC is having a training on Thursday, January 22nd at 1 PM Eastern Standard Time,
Yeah.
supporting skilled preservation trades at the local level, what commissions and city staff need to know. So, sign up for that one if you're available and interested.
And or just sign up because you can watch the replay at any time, even if it's 6 months later.
True.
I was just gonna add, on the website, your time was updated, cause I think you got approved by the town board,
Oh.
town board meeting.
That was something Angela was doing, so did that already?
Yeah, I believe it was in the minutes that it was
Oh,
approved, so
great.
that was
Are we
updated,
running
and then
4 more years?
Norm was removed
Two.
from the
Yeah.
Isn't
website.
it 2?
What's that?
Is it 2 years?
I think
In
it,
terms of.
I think I was told 4.
Sorry.
They didn't tell you. That's all right, planning board
It's
said.
actually
Oh, geez. So like that.
Right. You're like a Supreme Court judge.
And Norm is still appearing on the packet, but clerk's office is aware of it. I was told that he was already removed, but he's still appearing there, so hopefully that'll be done. But we are hopefully getting a new system anyway in the coming months. We're currently being trained on it, so hopefully we won't run into those issues. Because unfortunately, our hands are tied with just updating certain things on our own. We have to go through other people.
Any luck advertising for someone to fill Norm's seat?
No.
As far as, I think, weren't the trustee or the council people asked if they had any recommendations?
So I had a conversation with them because we went through that with our other boards and commissions. And I kind of deferred to you guys because you guys are usually pretty selective, or at least in terms of kind of qualifying people to be on the board, to fit whatever, I don't know what the role, I think Norm was an engineer.
It is.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's the role that you need to have
It is.
filled.
And with one of
then-
the council people being an engineer, I was hoping that he could recommend somebody that could be like-minded for this commission.
So, I mean, that's John.
Yeah.
I'll meet with John this week if you want me to, I can ask him. But two,
Yes,
I
please.
mean, if you've got some ideas or, you know, nominations that you would suggest to the board, I think they'd be open to that. Some of the boards we just leave up to the town board members to find people, but yours are generally a little more specific in terms of the requirements, so.
None of us are engineers, that's why I was hoping that
Come on.
John could
Yeah.
give us an
Remind me,
idea.
John will be in this week. You-
Maybe he's part of some professional
Right, didn't we
organization
say
that
or
we
to
can
put an
check.
ad,
Just
or
the,
maybe he knows who to
Yeah.
contact?
Norm's type of engineering was different from like what John is, so.
Yes.
I think Norm was more of like
Industrial.
Industrial.
Yep.
So maybe someone more building oriented
Civil or
to fill
something, yeah.
Norm's role, yeah, that would be great.
Yeah.
But, I mean,
I mean-
too, if you want to place an ad, you do that, right? I mean, I don't know how
Yeah.
Who
successful.
had the RFQ for that,
I don't know
or
if
We
no?
did,
Did it
just-
work the
we
last
did
time?
AIA before, but if we're trying to fulfill an engineer's role, then we should really, advertising in the AIA is
Yeah.
not.
No, I'm not saying to do AIA, but I thought, well, CSI could be one,
Yeah.
and then wasn't there, and then I guess the
Engineering
engineering
Society.
society.
Oh, yeah, I think that's a good idea. At least it's targeted them. I thought when you were saying ad, like just throwing in the B or something.
Well,
No.
we could, but I don't,
We
I
could, yeah.
don't want to.
No, I mean, I don't think it would get the target audience.
No, I thought just the societies.
Yeah, I just think
would
any of the
be-
professional organizations they have.
And it was an online form that we filled out to be in the AIA, so there's no like write-up.
Oh,
But to be clear, you're looking for someone with an engineering.
Yes.
It has to be, yeah.
it has,
Well,
that's
to
what-
the degree possible, so like
True.
that is the role that we're trying to fulfill,
Right.
yes.
But if they found somebody that perhaps wasn't an engineer.
And 124,000 people, I feel like chances are, we could find an engineer that's like-minded for preservation, I hope.
Maybe, I guess, I don't know.
How about more?
We've already begged Norm,
Yeah.
multiple people, multiple times.
James, you
He just
remind me
needs
this
a break.
week when John's in the office.
Yeah.
Thank you,
John's at Wendell,
yeah.
so.
Oh.
It doesn't need to be someone at Wendell,
No, no,
in fact,
I got
it
it.
maybe should be outside of Wendell, but still,
uh,
Could be a colleague or something.
Let's-
right.
Okay.
We'll check with some of the other engineers, we could talk to Tony, talk to Mark, talk to Jeff Burrow, see if they're aware of anybody
Yeah, great idea.
in their circle. It's just, you know what, tomorrow we'll talk, let's put an email together, those guys, and see if they
Yeah.
know anybody.
Thank you.
But not any old engineer, someone who fits the criteria of preservation minded.
Yeah, so I mean,
Yeah.
so if you've got it, like, we can kind of qualify a little bit like that.
Well, we get
but
to
if
interview.
there's- If there, yeah, if
So-
there's any other
There's gotta be somebody that has an interest. in
criteria
it.
that you want us to kind of suggest to them in terms of their thoughts, it's helpful, because otherwise, you know. they might
There's
come up
that line in the code that basically says all members must have like an interest in preservation and blah, blah, blah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Sure, out there. Any historic preservation project I've ever worked on, there's been an engineering sub and they've inadvertently worked on it too. So some of them actually care or have, you know.
Just like some architects actually care.
Right.
Luckily
Joe
the-
Fonzie?
luckily the ones
I don't know where
here-
Joe lives though.
No talent.
No, not one, yeah.
That's the other church. The one that lives.
Hey,
I'll tell him that his name was brought up in a public meeting.
hey, he did the Whipple Trust, that's how we're gonna say. He really cares.
Okay, hey, can I just, so for the next meeting, agenda items,
Mhm.
can we remove the calendar off the agenda?
Yeah, anything that, yeah,
And then can we add,
HBC code?
yeah, altering the town code, and do you wanna add this replacement for the engineering position in our agenda? So we keep it on the agenda?
Yeah, so next month we don't have a public hearing, so if there were candidates that wanted to meet informally, then, you know, we could do that.
Yeah.
We've done that in like an executive session, so that they're not like on camera giving interviews.
Yeah, we would turn the, yeah,
So-
we would go into executive session, we've
Yeah.
done that.
I mean, I don't think anybody would be opposed, if you like it in here, and you know, it's a little more collegial and you're not spread out, you can look at each other.
I like it in here.
I mean, as long as you don't,
You
as
do.
long as you don't
Yes.
have a
Yeah, I
hearing.
like it too.
I think for a hearing, you probably should be out there.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
But, I mean, I don't know that this room is not available to you. If you prefer to meet in here, let's see how this works, because this, we've got to make sure the video works and the sound is decent. But if that's something you want to do, we can make arrangements for you to have
I
this
think
room.
if the public is always invited to our
Yes.
meetings, so if there are members of the public here, I don't feel like this room is set up to be really
That's what I was
accessible.
gonna say, right.
As far as the seating and just this amount of space in the
It's
room.
not, yeah.
So, I mean, although this might be cozier, we are a decision-making board, and, you know, I think that because the public is welcome, our meetings should be as accessible as possible.
That's up to you, whatever, just let you know.
Yeah, when we cross into, talking about certain properties, it draws more people, whether there's a public hearing or not. So, yeah.
But
You're probably
I'm
right.
sure these gentlemen would like to know where we're planning on being for each meeting, but I mean,
Well, for
If we-
now,
if we
the
don't,
assumption is
the assumption
you're
is
out
The other
there
room,
unless you
yeah.
decide
Yeah.
differently.
Yeah, but this is, well, as long as the recording's okay,
Yeah.
this is a decent alternative
Backup.
if we need it.
but we wouldn't know when the public chooses to join
Yeah,
us
sure,
in person.
sure.
When we have pre-meeting for the planning board, it's in here, it's open to the public, folks do come in, they sit along the side, that's not the best situation.
But it
To your
works.
point, accessibility is a little bit of an issue, but, I mean, it is used that way, and there are public folks who do come in and join, it's not, it's probably not as good as that is out there.
That's, yeah,
Okay,
all right. Well, let's stay in the other room until otherwise noted. So those are my things that would change on the agenda. Do you wanna talk about altering the town code a little more? I have notes, I think we met, about, I think it's August, September?
Yeah, a little bit,
Yeah, do you have notes from that? 'Cause I have some notes at home.
Not on me, I believe I have the notes somewhere in my folders.
It's probably, yeah, your.
So yeah, we discussed different aspects of the code like we did today that are a little confusing or don't exactly add up to,
Mhm.
how we would actually go about
There's quite a few
our
things.
procedures, yeah. So there's definitely some areas for improvement that we found through really kind of testing ourselves and with some nominations recently. So, yeah, we can definitely go over those again and maybe even specify them, the more specific we can be for the town attorney.
Yeah, even like
The easier that process is going forward, if you can be more specific, the better.
Sorry to interrupt.
No, that's okay.
Even for the local landmarking code that's in there for, the tax exemption, it's kind of, there's not specifics,
Okay,
so that would be something to visit as well.
statute is the word I wanted earlier, statute.
Okay.
Yeah, but that's not in our statute, that, tax exemption, that's under,
Taxation.
Oh.
yeah, so we wouldn't have
Any
jurisdiction
jurisdiction.
to alter it.
You can give a recommendation.
We could reference it.
Everything's just a
Yeah.
recommendation. You can
Yeah.
make recommendations of whatever you want.
Yeah. Do we wanna circulate things through email? Or do you wanna create a subcommittee to,
I think working group is the way to go.
working group?
And then like a shared Google sheet or something that we can update.
So a working group, I believe can be up to 3 people right now,
Yep.
with 6 members.
Yeah, can only be 3. Yep. 4 is quorum. Alright, who's on the working group? Obviously, probably me, because I already have some notes. Okay.
I mean, I would go as far as almost rewriting it the way we want it to be and recommending it that.
Well,
Let the
okay.
legal team.
So we use the model code set forth by SHPO,
Right.
and any alteration to the code needs to be approved by SHPO because we're a certified local government.
That's not to say it won't be.
Not to say that it can't be changed, but I wouldn't deviate too far from the model code.
Mhm.
And I'd actually look to see, is this code actually using the most current version of the model code? Just
You
wondering.
should set up a call.
Yes.
Well, because you were saying that's what, it's so out of order, and it would
Yeah,
seem
something.
surprising that SHPO would have it out
Yeah,
of
no, we
order, but I think
definitely-
it warrants
The former
a
chair
check for comparison.
and the former legal personnel, we had a working group where we went through it all. But they were both lawyers, and so they lawyered it. So there's a few things, obviously, that I think it is, a lot of it is taken from the model code.
Yeah, well, I just think that the model code should be open and just, making comparisons and
I wanna say
and
that-
noting any differences.
Oh, yeah, there's a lot we left out, because it just didn't pertain.
Right.
Yes.
You can always set up a call with Fran too, that would be helpful since she's doing CLG stuff now.
Once we get a little farther.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but like-
that's good.
Well, and she's the one that's is gonna be submitted to.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
exactly.
she can help some,
Yep.
any questions.
Okay, need Jeff, somebody else?
I can jump in on this now. I'm gonna start studying in
Okay.
February,
You wanna?
I can do it, that's fine.
Okay.
Okay.
maybe read through it. Or I won't do that.
No.
For your part, Brian, I would also, or not Brian, but I would start, let's capture what is the justification for making the changes that, from your point of view, like the difficulties of meeting some of those deadlines and stuff.
Oh, yeah, sure.
We had that. I think we had some of that, but it's
It's
kind of agreed on.
discussed, yeah.
Yeah, we wanted to change a couple, there was like a 15-day thing in there, we wanted to align that with a 30-day thing. We discussed some of that already, but yeah, that's a good idea. Okay, so, next couple weeks? Yeah, okay.
Don't wait too long.
last week of January, or do you wanna go next week? Circulate a couple dates.
Yeah.
Okay. Alright.
You want somebody from the town attorney's office? And what I'm thinking is it's an opportunity to educate them. Because
We had that
otherwise-
last time when Ann Demopoulos assisted in this process. She would attend our meetings.
And
Ann
Yep.
Demopoulos.
Yeah.
So I don't know if anyone, is there anyone familiar?
would that be Angela then?
No.
No, illegal.
Oh, legal.
Legal.
So,
I don't know
I
who's.
think if you want an attorney assigned to it, we can make the request to the attorney's office, let them figure out who that might be. But more than anything else, I think it's probably the person that you're gonna be working with, should be working with.
Yep.
And I suspect it would probably do them some good to sit through that with you, so they have a
Sooner
better
than
understanding,
later.
instead of just reading what you suggest, they can be in on the conversation, have more context to what
That
you're
makes sense.
asking them to do.
Well, I think we should probably have our working group first,
However you wanna do it, Brian, but I think.
and then, yeah, just so we can
That's fine.
go through and nail down what is
I just think-
confusing.
So, I mean, I was just then a working group, and then looped the attorney in with the
Mhm.
request for the attorney, and, you know, whoever else from this group wants to be part of that discussion, then like, propose your proposal to this committee first, and then, you know, let the attorney take some crack at it, but have them be part of that bigger. So basically, you guys present to us and the attorney what you want modified, so that they and then we can have that discussion with the attorney present.
It would surprise me if they knew that the code is modeled after some model code, and it has to meet certain criteria. I'm
Well, it's just their-
guessing they might not know
Yeah.
that.
Area of expertise, yeah, I would, you know.
So I think it's good for them to know that up front before they get going.
Have their own ideas.
Okay.
Do you want one of the attorneys at next month's meeting?
Well, they should be.
Yes.
Okay. I mean, I'd like technically. I mean,
Every
there-
meeting.
Yeah, but
For sure.
it seems like right now we need to specifically ask for someone to be here, so.
You guys are assigned, you've got an attorney assigned to you.
Yep.
Right. Okay.
Can't answer why he's not here.
He was at zoning, I think.
Probably. Yeah,
Um,
Gives them the-
Oh, he was at zoning?
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay,
So we're
Start,
starting
yeah.
that. Is Angela still our counsel?
Yeah, I just,
Oh, that's right.
I mean, emailed her today, yeah. She regretted not coming. She wanted to be here,
We're
yeah.
having the two new board members.
So that's another thing,
Oh.
we wanted to propose bringing the two new members early today, so we just do meet and greet. And she recommended doing that in spring, I sent out that email, so that'll be, I don't know,
Next one?
April. Yeah, well, I can ask, but I think she means like April, March, April, May, something, she said spring.
So April 21st, well, we might have a public hearing that night.
Could be,
That's perfect.
yeah.
Really show.
But she also
So,
wanted
those
to,
are-
she also mentioned that she wanted the other, council members that were, on the board already to attend.
do it with everybody.
Yeah, do it.
Oh, we're doing a session with them.
I think
Well-
sounds
They have
like
the
it,
same-
we could set
They
that,
have the same issues you do.
What do you mean?
So if they're all here,
yeah.
then we gotta advertise it as a meeting of
Yeah,
town
yeah.
board, so make sure, you know, you should think about that as you're going. forward.
Training, remember? Okay.
If that's what you're calling it, sometimes
We
it
can
works.
train them.
Sometimes
try.
it-
We can offer training.
We
sometimes-
try.
Sometimes it works. I've done it with the planning board, the town attorney would be the one who would have to kind of say, yeah.
Well, that's what happened last time too.
Right, there'll be no decisions made on anything.
I get it.
It's just,
It's
Totally
quorum,
get it.
is it a quorum problem? Yep.
Yep.
Yep. So even the two new ones in Angela's quorum, that's three, right? So that's a problem. So,
Try and call training and just see what Steve says.
yeah, I mean,
As long as you're not conducting business, to your
Right.
point.
no, it
Business.
would more be like meet and greet, and this is,
So, again,
our
what I'm saying is
objectives, right? Like
I
it's
do
not-
that.
And if they have
I do that
questions
with
for
planning
us,
board. We just do training, and they're all there. So, just gotta be.
Well, it can be hosted by the planning department, you guys are doing training.
Say again?
I said it's hosted by the planning department and you're doing training for the town board and us.
And that's fine, I just gotta, I would wanna make sure my interpretation is consistent with the town attorney for the town board.
Sure. So could you ask, the town attorney, if all of us were invited to one meeting by planning to just have a meet and greet and to go through the code and, you know, and the obligations of what the HPC does for the town?
Yeah,
Yeah, the code thing might be business, but we'll ask, we'll see, you know what I mean, like that.
Oh,
But
yeah,
we'll find out.
I don't
No.
mean like go through, but like,
That's what
basically
we have to work
just
with, right?
describing
Process?
process,
Describe the
what we
process.
You have
do
to
and
call
how.
it something that you acceptable, and then once you
Okay.
get into it, as long as you don't get into decision-making,
No,
then suspect you probably.
we would never do that.
no.
But I think we could probably aim for April 21st then, right?
So then my question is, the town board has a lot of nominations on their, on the.
Well, that's why I was hoping,
to meet sooner than.
meet
So are we
sooner.
planning on meeting with them prior to them deciding on some of these things?
Oh.
Like, I mean, when are they planning on taking action on all of those
I was gonna bring
items?
that up during miscellaneous.
I think that's a conversation you should have with the.
we're kind of in
liaison.
miscellaneous.
Yeah.
So that's a conversation for Angela, for you and Angela. When does the town board plan on?
Cause we're,
Does it-
we need to start getting
Mhm.
in front of them.
And something that we saw as an issue last go around with nominations was that the HPC really wasn't included in didn't have the ability to respond to the public's comments.
Until the closing.
Until the closing.
Right, we
And-
didn't get the opportunity at the opening of the public hearing. I don't know, I don't feel like I was notified in enough time to attend the first one, but I went to the closing one, where we did get to respond, but then it was just a back and forth.
Right.
Like, it wasn't like final word, it was like, here's my response to what your issues are, and then they got to yap on more. Like,
Well,
and that, like,
so maybe it would be like a request for the HPC to be able to respond to comments, like in writing, respond to comments, from evidence collected during the town board public hearing if they choose to have one. I mean,
well, I should have went to the opening, when the public hearing opened to make
I
a
thought,
statement.
who made the presentation?
Yeah, you did.
No, I made it at the end.
Well,
at the closing of the public
somebody had to present the petition, because it's generally
Right.
you guys that are,
Yeah, we
Petition.
started it.
They, as I recall, this was for
which item are we talking about?
Chateau.
Okay, cause
They
St.
had-
Mary's was very
They had all the
different.
same
That was-
packet
Yeah.
information that we had,
Mhm.
and, the, owner's legal team made a presentation
I have a
at the
question.
opening.
So when the town board, when we have like, they have their public hearing, people are talking about whatever. If someone brings up a point, can we rebuttal and clarify that to the town board? Like if they say a wrong
So-
statement
That's
or
not what
something?
happened.
Well, no,
That's what I'm
well, so the way we run our public hearings is that we listen to the information that's presented by the presenters. We do not usually go back and forth unless it's something egregious. But what I witnessed was the town board just having conversations with
Yeah.
people,
Okay.
which is not what it's
But
supposed to
they
happen.
don't know like the background of the
there's
story.
no,
Absolutely
there's
not.
no rebuttal, there's no conversation, and I don't know whether the board, it makes sense that you guys would get a chance to clarify things.
Which is why I
The
went
public
to the
makes-
following, I went to
Um,
the working session with the town board the following month to explain that to them.
Yeah. So like for example, this person saying, oh, the building was built in 1930, let's say it was 100 years
They
or
could
whatever.
say anything.
But then the town board is like, oh, well, it doesn't meet that criteria, but in
Right.
reality,
That's not a criteria.
yeah,
Right.
but that, I'm just, as an
But they
example.
wouldn't know that because
Exactly.
they're not historic preservation experts. We're
Yes.
the experts
So how do we?
Which is what I
appointed by
tried-
the town.
Which is why I tried to convey last year at the training.
Right.
Right.
Now, I will say,
Exactly.
so, and I can't recall exactly what the sequence was, but the town board has in their rules of order, a provision that says they'll basically not make a decision, a land use decision, the night of the hearing.
Correct, it's
Yeah.
open, yeah,
So,
they leave it open.
So I don't know whether they made, like, you guys did the hearing and they made a decision that night, or they left it
Yeah.
open.
No, after I presented, they made a decision and closed it.
Okay, so, I mean, in theory, you could have a situation where they would have their hearing, they would close the hearing.
I believe they leave it open for 2 weeks.
Or leave it open, but they won't make a decision in 2 weeks, and that would generally give you an opportunity to rebut. Because they typically don't want to engage in back and forth in the meetings for, whatever. But the reality is, if they
How about that?
waited 2 weeks, then that gives you an opportunity to weigh in on the comment.
And
No, I will
clarification.
no, I won't do that. I will make an opening, when they open the public hearing, I want to be there to make a
Yeah,
statement.
but you won't be able to, you won't know what the public is going to say.
Yeah,
Right.
I think what we're talking about is
To
trying to be able
clarify
to
things.
respond and clarify what.
Yeah, I'll have to
maybe
wait
something
and
like
see if
that.
there's any, review the comments during the open
yes.
Right.
time frame of the
Yeah.
public hearing.
Right.
But there needs to be a tone set about what this board
Sure.
stands for, what it, you know what I mean? And the reasoning that I'm here tonight, right, for for an open public hearing is this, and give them our reasons why we nominated it.
And that's
Right,
fine.
that didn't happen last time, so that's going to happen next time.
It didn't.
It did not happen
Neither.
last time.
It did not happen at St. Mary's, it
Right.
did not happen at Chateau.
Okay,
Right,
I guess what I'm saying is, after you're done, then the public gets an opportunity to come up and speak.
absolutely,
And
yeah.
then- But typically, they're not
Absolutely.
gonna permit you to come up, and sometimes they will, but sometimes they won't.
So, right, so my understanding of the process and what I would like to be able to do is when we hear from the town board that they're going to open a public hearing, I would like to be there to make a statement at the beginning of it, explaining our nomination. And then when they set the closing date, because they usually set it like 2 weeks later, like to appear at the closing of it, because they keep it open,
It's a
they open
decision.
their agenda.
They'll send a decision.
Exactly, yeah.
Right.
And so, obviously get a chance to review public comment or whatever and respond and rebut whatever was stated and make a closing statement and then sit down and then whatever else
Rebut or
happens.
affirm.
Yeah,
Right.
well, right, or affirm.
Right.
Just comment on their comments.
Exactly, yeah, so I believe we're allotted that.
Now, the way the planning board does their business, and I think the town board sometimes does this, but the planning board allows a presentation by the petitioner, i.e. the HPC, then public comment. Then the chair will typically ask if there are questions that the public asks or clarification that the public looks for. He'll ask the petitioner to come back up and clarify those issues so that, it's all together.
Yeah, the way I did it
So-
for St. Mary's was I stayed there and let them ask me questions. And they were able to ask some questions and I was able to answer
Yeah.
them.
But there was a lot of falsehoods that were not addressed.
Right,
That influenced the vote,
Yeah.
that the HPC did not have an opportunity to,
right.
on that case, review.
Well, the major point of the decision came from the belief of cost. And I was never able to say anything because that statement was made after the session was closed. And they were in
Right.
discussion about that item. So they closed public hearing and then went into discussion for vote.
Right.
And it
Once
wasn't-
it's closed.
2 weeks,
And
right.
it wasn't a financial hardship
Yeah.
application, so that was very difficult.
So,
Again,
right,
difficult
so-
because the town board did not understand the process of the HPC
Right.
and the steps applicants need to go in order to to, look for a different judgment, the appeals process. And,
So that's why I did, the two things I did was went to the working session with all of them and made a presentation and then made a separate presentation a couple months later in the training session.
right, yeah.
To try to
Right, right.
align with what we're doing so they understand it.
So, and I don't know if that's codified, the way that
It is.
the town board hears public sentiment, and then I know that it's codified, I believe, or at least part of the, like, the board's bylaws, if they have any, where they give a petitioner and one major other group, a citizen group,
15 minutes.
15 minutes,
that
15
kind
minutes,
of
right,
stuff.
and then you got, everyone has up to 3 minutes first round, and then, get second round later, so that's all seems to be
Those are, I
in-
think those are the rules of order.
rules of order. So I'm not sure in the rules of order if it addresses, things like HPC appeals. I mean,
Not that specific.
is there anything like an HPC appeal that the town board looks at other than maybe a
Already does.
rezoning or something
Zoning
like
planning
that?
is the other, is, right.
Right, a rezoning of a property or something.
So, my recollection is if you look at the rules of order for the town board, it refers to land use decisions
Mhm.
generally. And so, maybe the thing to do is to suggest that HPC decisions are land use decisions and should be subject to the same delay, if you will. Get out of the heat of the public hearing, give you 2
Love it.
weeks, get all the stuff out, give you guys a chance to comment on whatever was said, clarify that, and then give that information to the town board, and they make a decision too. That's why they do the 2 weeks, so they're not reacting to. So that hearing for St. Mary's, for example, my recollection was that there were lots of people there who were concerned about water leaking in their apartment, and that, to me, that was kind of the pressing issue, like, we can't deal with this anymore, we have to move this thing along, let's go. If you wait the 2 weeks, it still might be the same outcome, but at least there's time, more specifically for technical issues, for you guys to clarify.
St. Mary's, though, was an appeal of our decision. That was not a nomination.
True, correct.
It was, they appealed everybody, so it's a little different.
Right, but still a
But it's
land
the
use
same-
decision.
Right.
It's still land use.
I think the thing to do is say,
Permitting.
we want this to be considered
Land use.
a land use decision.
Why?
I think that all of our decisions are land use. Certificate of appropriateness, nominations.
It could be simple enough to change their rules of order to include designations or certificates, whatever they're doing in the rules of order. So if that's what you like, to have it pushed for the 2 weeks, I don't see why it would be that difficult to interpret it that way or to codify.
That makes
it if the
sense to
town
me.
is interested in doing
Yeah.
that. So, training, I think, would be your opportunity to educate the board in total.
Yeah, I'd like to aim for April 21st if it makes
But we
sense to me.
will probably have a
Don't have a hearing yet.
public
Oh, we
hearing.
probably
Right,
have public
that's the
hearing.
thing.
Okay.
But then the more public hearings we have before we do it, that's.
Well, you'll have to lean on the numbers that have been there particularly in
Well, it looks like we will not be able to have public hearing on the 10th, so we could see if they're available the 10th.
Yeah,
Yeah.
maybe available.
10th of
March.
March.
No, we are having a public hearing.
We have a
on March
public
10th.
hearing in March.
Oh, I'm sorry.
February.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
February 10th.
We're gonna probably have a public hearing on April 21st.
March and
too.
April, yeah,
Yeah.
March and April. Yep.
So next month.
So either
That would
February,
be good, I'm going.
either February 10th or May.
I'd rather do
Depending
it
on how many
sooner.
people there
Yeah,
are,
I'll try.
unless we have a new
Member.
engineer by
No, because we'd have to conduct interviews.
then. No, I'm saying for May.
Oh, sure.
So we don't know when those 3 nominations will be in front of them?
Brian's gonna ask Angela,
Yeah, I
our
can just ask,
liaison.
reach out to the liaison, and hopefully you get an answer. We can circulate the answer.
Thank you. But it wouldn't be like next month.
Could be.
Guess if
They
they
have-
wanna put it
they
on the
have-
agenda,
They have it
right?
under.
Could be next Monday.
Prerogative.
I don't know.
They-
Well, it can't be.
What's their notice requirement
To open up,
to hold the hearing?
no, they put the item on their
Their
agenda and then
they'll
say,
set
we
the-
wanna have a public hearing.
Well, right, so they have to say, we're gonna schedule a hearing,
Yeah, I think they're
and
ready.
then it has to meet whatever publishing
I think it's 30.
timeframe it is. Is it 30?
I think so.
Okay, the thing I was gonna mention before, the one thing they did do is they threw the Buffalo News in as an option for noticing, which typically had always been.
You wanna spend $1,400 for
Well,
an advertisement in
But the
Buffalo
B
News?
is, quite honestly.
That's on record.
Pardon my French, yeah. But I mean, it's become a pain, because, you know, they keep moving their dates around. The deadlines are almost 2 weeks before it actually gets published.
Yeah, that was something that James had mentioned when we discussed this.
So they
this fall.
included the Buffalo News as a newspaper to be used for,
The Buffalo News is, like, an advertisement could not come out of our budget for Buffalo News if we had to advertise for public hearing.
I've actually found that process to be harder than to be.
it could be, I think, go back and check the resolution. I think it was
I mean, it gives you
ambulance
options,
fee,
but I-
the Buffalo News, and then some other newspaper general circulated.
So, yeah, so.
I think it was those two, and then but I think it was worded something if it's not, almost making it sound like if they weren't around anymore. But I don't know if they actually named that they're
Probably
on.
pretty
Have
close
to
to.
check. It's just the B has become,
So, I mean, the Buffalo News is about $1,400 or
I
$1,500
get
to
it.
advertise.
got it.
Each time.
Yes.
Yeah, it's not.
For public, like, for all the information you need to, all the lines you need to list for public hearing.
Wow.
They it's like, I don't know, I can't say the rate, you know, I'm on, right, but it's exorbitant.
Well, and that's where people need to lobby the state to change the rules for public notice.
Yeah, I'm not,
Just to be
right,
on the municipal website.
it's
what-
behind the times.
I mean, we've been talking
yeah.
about it for 10 years,
Yeah,
knowing this day was coming.
newspapers are-
Yeah. All right, are there any other miscellaneous items that any member has to bring up? No, hearing none.
Oh, Dave, hit that.
Is there a motion to adjourn?
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
Second?
Either way, second.
Second, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye, motion adjourned, thank you.
Thank you.
Motion carries.